Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to take a little bit of time. I told you in one of the last videos that I'd make some shaker oval boxes, and today I'm going to start that process. So enjoy the day. We finally got some rain down here. We've been since June without rain, and thank the Lord we got some good rain. Got more on the way. I'm ready for my lake to be filled up. But anyway, come on and join us for the rest of the day on making shaker oval boxes. Thank you. One of the first things we have to do is lay out our supplies that we're going to use, and since we're going to be using these today, we're going to use some cherry wood and a little bit of maple here, but mostly cherry, and we'll make 5 boxes. We'll make the 0 through 4 box, and we have the forms laid out there. We have the patterns laid out here to cut the tops with, and we have the patterns to make the fingers with. The fingers hold everything together. We have tacks that we're going to use to hold the bands together. This project uses no glue whatsoever. And we have our boards here for the tops and bottoms. This is a bird's eye maple that we're going to use. I have a piece of purple heart that I want to use in the project, and we have some lace wood here that'll be used in it, and more bird's eye maple to be used in the project. But we'll be using hand tools for the most part to make these with. We have our coping saw and our hand drill that we'll use to drill the holes with to put everything together. We have our forming tools, and all our supplies are here, so I think we're ready to start. The first thing that we're going to do is take our size 4 box and our size 4 band, and we're going to draw out the finger patterns on the boxes. These finger patterns that we have in this number 4 box, as you can see, we have the holes for the nails, for the copper tacks that we're going to use in all of the fingers here. But this pattern here will just lay on the board itself, and we'll just trace that out. The next thing that we want to do is to take our top and bottom patterns that we have here. We'll start off with the number 4 again. We'll lay these out, and first thing we have to do is decide which you want to be the top and which you want to be the bottom. And both of these are nice, but I decided to use this lace wood on the bottom and use this bird's eye maple for the top. So we'll lay those out, and you have to be careful here now because you have 2 patterns. One is the bottom and one is the top. So we decided we're going to make the bird's eye maple the top and the lace wood the bottom. So we'll trace those out now. One want to be able to mark it so that we'll know which is which, this being the top. Now for the bottom, decide which side is best. I like them both. They're both pretty much the same here. But I don't know. What do you think? I think this will be the better part here. This will be the top side of the bottom box, the outside part. So we'll trace that out. Mark that bottom. Now we have both our top and our bottom for box number 4. We'll set that to the side. Go to box number 3. This one will be made out of cherry, and the grain, you just have to figure out which one you like the most or here. And I don't know. I think maybe this will be the top and this will be the bottom. So we'll set our number 4 parts out of the way. Back up here next to our water bottle. Oh, that's an interesting story there. The water can came from Hurricane Katrina in 2005. We live inland near Jackson, Mississippi, from where the hurricane came in, and when it got here, the winds were still 100 miles an hour and did a lot of damage to our trees. Some of the projects that I've made over the years have been from those trees, but that water bottle, that water can made by Anheuser-Busch is who bottled that, and I have kept it all these years. For what reason, I don't know, but there's a I guess you could call that the original Bud Light. Anyway, let's move on. Box number 3 that we're going to do, we decide which is the top and which is the bottom. I thought this would be the top and this one would be the bottom, so we'll draw those out. Here again, we're going to use bird's eye maple, and the lace wood here, we're going to use these for the number 3. So we'll lay those out and draw those out now. We'll start with the bottom. The lace wood will be on the bottom. Now for the top, this being the bird's eye maple, and set those to the side. Now for our number 2 box, we use our cherry wood that we have here. Nice cherry wood. Decide which is the top and which is the bottom. I think that one should be the top and that one the bottom. So let's draw these out. Now for the number 1. Have lace wood for the bottom. and curly maple for the top. We'll draw those out. This will be the top. Don't worry about all these little smudges on here. Those will sand out. This is the bottom. Set those to the side. Now for the number 1 again. We have the bird's eye maple. I think we'll use that for the top. This is the lace wood here we'll use for the bottom. And we'll draw those out. Now we'll lay out the number 0. Top and bottom. You know, I think I'm going to use a piece of Purple Heart for the top of the 0 box. It's just a pretty piece of wood, and I haven't used one for a while, so we'll lay out the top for that. We'll save this part to make another 0 box with a little bit later on. These are the tacks that we use to hold the boxes together. These are made of copper, and John Wilson's shop in Charlotte, Michigan is the one that makes these. They have a 19th century machine that stamps out these copper tacks for us. And as you can see, there's 2 different sizes. The smaller size tack will be used for the 0 through the 2, and the larger tack will be used for the 3 and the 4. Okay, now that the tops and the bottoms are laid out, our bands are drawn up, it's time for us to start drilling. And what we're going to use is a hand drill. This is just a simple little twist device hand drill that you can use, and it opens up. In the base of it, you have your drill bits. Now keep in mind we're going to be using copper tacks. We're going to be using small copper tacks. So we don't want too big a hole. The smallest that I have is this one here. But I think that it's a little too big. Let's see if I can't find a smaller one. Well, I did find a smaller one here. This is one that will set in there. It'll be just about the right size. But we need is first a backer board to drill on. We don't want to drill in, make too many holes in our work table like we have in the past, have to build a new top on it. But what we'll do is we'll set this up and we'll just drill it by hand. Drill all the way through. Just twist it. There it goes, all the way through. And we'll just do all of these the same way. The reason we pre-drill these holes is so that we won't split our bands when we go to drive the tacks in. I'll come back to you in a little bit when I finish with these and show them to you. This is the number 2 box that we're drilling the pilot holes for the tacks right now. The reason we drill these holes, as I told you, so the wool won't split. But the tack, when it goes through, comes out the other side. We're not going to drill the back side over here. When it folds around, what we'll do is we'll put our tacks into these holes and we'll use an anvil and cinch those tacks. And what happens when we cinch a tack is that in essence we drive in that tack through the wood and it forms a J. And that J is that cinch part coming back up under the wood and locking it in. And it will stay put the whole time. You have the top of the head of the tack right here going through the wood, into the wood there, and it will cinch up and tighten everything up. So let's keep working and drilling these out. I know it's boring, but you know, where are you going? You're making a shaker over box. Shakers did things in a simplistic way, and they believed that they called it, they said hands to work and hearts to God is what they said. And it's fun. It's just a lot of fun to slow down and take things easy. I can use power tools. I have power tools here in the shop that I've made them with before when I was in a hurry to get one made for Christmas or a special purpose there. But when it's just me and I'm in no hurry to go anywhere, I just enjoy slowing down and enjoying the work, as you can see there. Now for the number 2 box band. We'll drill it out. Number 2. This is the number 3 box band. Now the number 3 box band, we'll drill it out. And now for the number 4. The number 4 is about right here. I haven't had the ambition or the courage to do one of the larger boxes here. The first things that you have to do is manufacture the forms to fold them around. and that requires a lot of wood. Either that or you can use styrofoam. I've heard people using styrofoam for form. I guess it would work, styrofoam. But I still haven't had the courage to try one that big yet. Maybe one day. Let's finish drilling this out. The next thing that we have to do is feather the edge of these boards here, these bands, so that when we fold them over around the form that there will be no gap in between here. We'll feather this so that it comes down to near zero from the thickness that it is now. The reason we do that, as I said, is so that when we fold these, they'll overlap neatly and they'll look pleasingly. I know. I said I was not going to use power tools, but there's just some things that we can't get by without using a power tool, and this, for me, is one of those things. So hold on. When we feather these boards, we have to look at the top and the bottom. Which side are we going to feather the board on? Well, this being the top, we'll feather the bottom this side here. So we'll lay this down on this side where the bottom is down on the table of the sander here. We'll use a block here to keep it smooth and uniform. If you look closely, you can see how thin that is. And when you're sanding it, you want to sand it back about 2 inches, maybe 3 inches. You want it kind of tapered in on the side there so that it will fold and it will set flat within itself. Well, that's that. One thing that's important when you're in your shop is to set up a good dust collection system to evacuate the dust. You don't want to be breathing the dust. Well, I think we're about ready to move on to step number 2, where we'll be cooking these down and bending them around our forms. Our forms will look like this, and we'll use this form for the whole thing. This is the number 2 form, and this will form this one. We'll just bend it around this form in such a way that, but this is the number 2 form that we'll bend it around. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this. This will be just the first part of our installment here. We'll do this in parts, but the next part, join us as we move on to cooking these down, and we'll cook them in hot water bath for about 20 minutes and then fold them around the form and use an anvil and brad our nails over, our tacks over. We'll cinch those over so that it'll hold together. We'll move on from there. But thanks again.